Good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to another video by yours truly. Today we are going to be discussing how on earth you can start a clothing brand right now. You're probably wondering, Michael, I have not contacted a manufacturer. I have not sent $500 to some random guy overseas to manufacture clothing. How on earth am I going to start a clothing brand right now? I have no idea how clothing works. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. It all involves with the one of one brand. The one of one brand is to me the essence of fashion design and clothing in general. You're wondering what a one of one brand is. A one of one brand is a brand from an artist that consists of very limited quantity of the clothing because the clothing is done by hand, whether drawn on by hand or sewn on by hand. These brands are considered a novelty, to have one of the pieces from a exclaimed artist. It's rare, and it is very good to partake in as an artist. The positives of a small little side one-on-one brand are endless. I will tell you why. You, yes, you will get first-hand learning experience of trying to get your brand out there without sending hundreds of dollars overseas to some random manufacturer. Okay, that's very nerve-wracking for a first-timer, amateur person in the clothing brand business. Sending money overseas is something that is, you want to postpone it as long as you can, especially when you don't have actual, you do not have an actual vision of what you want to do. You see these brands on TikTok. They do 500 prints of a T-shirt, possibly only selling 10 or 20. That's a lot of money. And these T-shirts suck. That's another issue. However, when you spend your heart and soul for 2 weeks on one T-shirt, that's going to be a very, very good representation of your art as an artist. Another positive of a one-on-one brand is that you are able to start and you are able to connect with so many people off the bat with your first brand being a one-on-one brand. Most people really want a piece of your one-on-one brand. Okay, you will, in my opinion, you will achieve far greater collaborations and connections with a one-of-one brand. Okay, and this is better than having a manufactured brand off the bat because you are able to achieve so much bang for your buck with just having a one-of-one brand. As an artist, these same collaborations and connections you're creating with your one-of-one brand, you can also take advantage of these connections with your next brand. Next brand being, a manufactured brand, whether you take more you take more on the business side of the clothing brand business with your next brand. You can use these connections you formulate with this one-on-one brand with that brand, but you're spending less money. You get me? I'm explaining this really rough. I'm sorry. Now, perhaps my favorite aspect of having a one-on-one brand is that it makes you more in touch. Get your foot in the mud when it comes to the art aspect of a clothing brand. You know, you get to find out what your niche is. You get more in depth with who you are. And you actually you find out what you like to wear, how you like to wear it. You find out if you like baggier clothes, you like tighter clothes, do you like clothes with this color, that color? Because you are wearing the clothes you're making. Let's not play around here. If you're making a t-shirt by hand, you're going to try it on and you're going to find out what you like to wear. And that's what's important, because a clothing brand will never see success if its owner and artist behind it all doesn't actually mess with his work. You can tell when a clothing brand is a part of this oversaturation mess from TikTok and the actual guy who owns it has no real connection with it whatsoever. You will not, and I mean this so genuinely, you will not find success in the clothing brand business if you are not as passionate as Rick Owens is with his art. Okay, he is very passionate of his art. He wears it. That's all he wears. Okay, he has some clothing of his in a closet somewhere. It's like 4 pieces. That's all he wears. He loves it. You have to be the same way. Okay, you have to. This one of one brand will just make you more in charge of that aspect, and this will build on to your in your career of clothing brands. Because you will build on from having a one of one brand to eventually that mass produced clothing brand that you want to have in the future. But that mass produced brand isn't going to have that feeling because you were more in touch in the first place with your original art niche that you established originally with your one of one brand. This one of one brand will also give you more experience overall as a clothing brand owner with most of the elements of having a clothing brand. You will learn more. You will make more connections with other clothing brand owners. You will have a firm understanding of just clothing fabrics. That's a big deal. For example, if you have no understanding of fabrics and you were to order from a manufacturer and you get 200 t-shirts with very shitty fabric, honestly, your brand is cooked for that moment and you are down a lot of money. You're going to have to sell all these t-shirts that no one will buy, and most likely you will just stop clothing brand business whatsoever because you pretty much effed yourself over. But with a one of one brand, you get to have a firm knowledge of all these fabrics. Now you're asking me, how am I going to get these fabrics? How am I going to work on a one of one brand if I have no idea how to get these fabrics and such? Well, first of all, they are called blanks. You can get these blanks from Amazon. I suggest if you're into baggy clothes, Pro Club. If you're nasty, you could get Fruit of the Loom. These blanks, you don't have to buy a lot of them. You could buy three. Three should be enough for, I'd say, 2 weeks of making pieces. Probably wondering what to design with. How am I going to get my art on these clothing pieces? You know, I'll tell you. Spray paint, fabric markers, Sharpies, fabric paint. These are all very great ways to get your art on these pieces. With spray paint, you can also buy stencils. That makes it easier to get a basis of the art on your shirt, and then you can detail it later with fabric markers or Sharpies. But it can also speed up the process with making one of one pieces. Now, if you are not into drawing and actually putting art on clothing, then obviously you are into sewing, getting cloth from other clothing and putting it into another piece, making your own piece. To get a sewing machine and cloth in general, I recommend thrift stores. Thrift stores have so much stuff. They have so many sewing machines. I recommend you try it before you buy it. They could not work for cloth. Plenty of cloth. You know this. You probably go thrifting as it is. So yeah, this is the basis of having a one of one brand. Having a sewing machine, a couple markers, and a vision. I recommend you have a vision board over your workspace and you build from there. This is a much better option than off the bat going to a manufacturer. This establishes your niche way better as an artist beforehand. You must be an artist beforehand before you are a business owner. That is my tip of the day. Be an artist before a business owner. If you are a business owner before an artist, people can tell. They could tell you're in it for the money, and you just look lame. You run out of ideas. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. That coffee sucks.